Yes, yes.
All right.
And you say Shy City and around the world, I am the kid Rod Allen. He is Young Flizzle, and this is Chicago's Intellectuals Podcast. What's up, Young Flizzle?
Peace, parishioners, and all Chi-Town intellectual listeners. Man, we doing good over here. Got a real special episode today. We're going to dig deep into the intellectual world, and we're featuring someone, man, who's really instrumental to both of our development. Comrade, you know, and this individual is none other than Robert Motley, man. Let's get it up.
What's up, brother? My man.
What's going on, brothers?
Man. What's
Yes.
up, man? Long time no see, baby.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. But you know, we always together in spirit, man. You know what I mean? So you know, it's been a long time, man. But you know, we didn't have so many interactions. You know, we didn't. You know, a lot of stuff we didn't talked about is coming to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So it's been good to see. You know, a lot of that. You know, come into play. You know what I'm saying, over the years. But you know, it's just, man, it's been a good road, man. You know what I'm saying, and we continue to elevate. You know, that's the main goal, man.
Yes.
So every time we see each other, it's just like we was just, you know, back at Rodney House. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so it's a good thing.
We're going to get right into it, man, because we want to let the world know, man, just a little bit about you. And, you know, so can you just tell us, man, just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, so I'm, you know, born and raised in Chicago on the west side of Chicago.
West side?
Yeah. You know, but originally from K-Town, you know, off of Wilcox and Kilbourne, and went to Heffron Heffron Elementary School. All of my family, you know, mother, father, everybody, you know what I'm saying, came up in K-Town, you know what I'm saying. Then everybody started to move away. You know, then we ended up living in Oak Park for, I think, five years, roughly about 5 years. From the time I was in first grade to sixth grade. Because, you know, my family, it was trying to move us out of that condition and put me in somewhere where I could, you know, go to school, get a good education, you know, because, you know, in K-Town and going to Heffron, you know, everybody come out of there, you know, they weren't teaching us nothing, you know what I'm saying? We really just, they're antagonizing each other, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was a big culture shock, though, you know what I'm saying, moving from that to going now to a school where I had never been around no white people, you know what I mean? And so that taking me out of my environment. So, but I'm still acting as though I'm in my environment, you know? So, you know, I had went through a lot of changes and things like that. You know, my mom and them has to come up there and tell him, you know, like, you know, he just ain't used to being around, you know what I'm saying? These types of folks, you know. But the main thing was, it was a good experience because I feel like I was able to, in terms of education, you know what I'm saying, being able to read, and they had us doing all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, doing poems and, you know, stuff that, you know, I wouldn't be doing in hood schools, you know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like I did benefit, you know what I'm saying, from those 5 years of going to that school. And then we moved over to, back on the west side of Chicago, but we was living in Austin, you know, so right off Chicago Avenue in Central. I'm raised off of Luna. When I was about 10 years old, we moved back over there, and that's where my mother and them still reside. That's where, you know, I was at until I got grown and everything, you know. And so from that, you know what I'm saying, went to Schurz High School on the north side, graduated from there, was playing basketball, and got a little scholarship to go to an HBCU school in Memphis, to Lemoyne Owens College, and got down there, man, and lost my mind. Lost my mind, man.
Right?
Yeah, man. I had never been to an all black school like that, and it was just too stimulating for a brother, you know. And then coming from the city, you know, going to a southern school, I felt like, you know, I'm a little bit fast paced for them, so I was just into all types of things. But needless to make a long story short, though, I didn't even last a year there, you know what I'm saying. Ended up getting kicked off my scholarship. Coming back home, you know what I'm saying, to Chicago, parents upset. And, you know, because, you know, it was like you did, you know, because I believe I was the first one that, at that time, to even be going to college. You know what I mean? Out of all my cousins, anybody, you know what I mean? So I believe my auntie Jackie, she might have went to college, but you know, for my immediate, my father, my sister.
You were first generation. You were first.
Yeah, at that time. Yep.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
And so to see that come, and then, you know, they was like, man, you done threw away your future, you know, because they like that, you know, going to college was the bar way up here, you know. So, but when I came back, I tried going back, you know, staying in a few different junior colleges and stuff like that, but it didn't work out. I wanted to, you know, I'm seeing everybody's riding around in cars. I wanted to get some money, you know, so I was like, well, let me just, you know, I ain't never tried to get into the drug selling or anything like that, but I wanted to work and earn some living. So I went to get 2-3 jobs. You know, from the time I was 19 all the way till I was probably 30, I always had me 2-3 jobs. You know what I mean? That was my way of making my money, getting me an apartment, driving,
Yeah.
you know, dressing nice and all those different things like that, you know. And so so school and all that stuff was out of the picture by the time I was about 22. You know, it was out of the picture. So I'm just working, you know what I'm saying, and making money and doing those things.
So we don't want to give the people too much.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
But what we want you to know, here's what young Flizzle and myself want you to know. First of all, you know we love you, right? But
Of course.
we want to celebrate you, man. We want to celebrate you. We have this platform, and we feel like we want to reveal to the world that we have intellectuals all around the world. Where are you right now? What city are you in?
St. Louis, Missouri.
You're in St. Louis.
What's up?
So,
Shout out St. Louis.
yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and ask you a series of questions so that the world. Okay. Some of the answers we already know.
Right.
We don't. Some of them we don't because some new things have happened, right?
Absolutely.
But we have some questions that we want to ask you to reveal to the world, and particularly young African Americans, right?
Right.
Reveal to them that in the face of adversity, we persevere. So
for sure.
Flizzle, man, Flizzle been missing you, man. He been,
hey, man.
So he gonna take over.
Speaking of touch points, man. So it's, and what I find real, like I'm getting chills, man, down my spine, man, goosebumps, because as you're telling, you know, the formative years and the background of your story, I did not realize how much aligned that our families were, how much aligned that we were. So for one, my family leveraged Oak Park as well, right? Coming from the west side of Chicago.
Wow, I ain't know that.
And for two, I was on that Addison bus, Joe, and I had to go past Schurz, and y'all get down on me. Hey, I used to have them Zodiacs. I used to khaki pants on, Joe. Y'all used to get down on me.
Hey, hold on. So I remember, man, hey, Rodney, man, this is so funny, because when that bus used to get to our school, all them schools that came before us, they would rush to the front of the bus because they knew we were going to antagonize everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you something. I learned early on, Joe. I call it belt buckle era. I had
yes, sir.
buckle wrapped around.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in case you know the madness was going to happen, man.
Yeah, sometimes we had 2 belt buckles on it.
Come on, man. And then also, man, one of the most important things was so I realized as all three of us come from spaces of poverty, right? And our families, right? And we've done like a lot of work towards like resetting the framework to provide some wealth and creation to our legacy and our families. So with that being said, education was my pathway too, Robert, because I also got bused. You know, I wanted to go to the hood schools. I wanted to go to Frederick Douglass and all that. I got bused up to, you know, Jefferson Park, to an all-white neighborhood, quality school, quality education, all of that, man. And just like you, when I went away to college, I lost my mind too, sir. I last 2 years, and then I came back, man, and you know, it was either work or get a job. But man, just so we know, man, we find out something new about each other every day, man, and that's a blessing. So I like to really dive into something that I know is a core value, and that's education with you. And can you just talk about a little bit about how education has shaped your life?
Well, man, it's really been all of my life for the past, man, 10 years, actually. Yeah, past 10 years. I went back to get my associate to finish up my soul, because, you know, I told you I had little spills with the 2-year college, but I never finished. But luckily, when I went back in 2009 to Harold Washington, I think I had accumulated maybe like, 12 credits or something, 14 credits. So I just had to do like another year and a half to get my associate's degree. But really, my key was for going back to school wasn't to be where I'm at today. It was really, I was going back to school to get a certification. I wanted to get a certification, get my license in what's the CADC, so I can do the, the treatment and mental health. That was my whole goal. I said, man, I can go here. I knew some people that already did it. So they was telling me, yeah, you can go to either Kennedy King or Harold Washington. So, but when I got there and I was applying, going through the process of getting my courses, I'm talking to, and I wouldn't know this brother again if I ever seen him before. But when I talked to him, he said, well, man, you know that it's going to take you 64 credit hours to get your to get that certification, but the amount of hours that you would need to get your associate's degree. So why would you pigeonhole yourself into just being able to leave here with just being able to do that when you just get a degree, and that opens up the doors for other things that you might want to do. It made sense to me, you know what I mean? So I said, man, that's a great idea. So I scrapped it. I said, okay, well, and this was just God working through people, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been like that. Somebody, if it sounds good, it makes sense, I'll go for it, you know what I mean? And so that's what I did, man. And so I scraped the certification. I wanted to finish up, get my associate's degree. And during the course of that, somebody else I talked to who had gotten, I wanted to be in psychology, but then I had a buddy who had already went to my undergrad, well, all of our undergrad, Northeastern, and he had finished up, was getting ready to go to UIC in social work. So that's how I got introduced to social work, because he was saying, Robert, if you want to do psychology, you can do all of that in social work. You can do psychology, you can do clinical, you can do work with this population. He was just showing me the breadth of things that you can do in social work that so why just stick to psychology? You can do that in social work. That's a part of it. So I had never heard about, all I knew about social work was what everybody thinks. We just work with poor people, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know you had school social workers, you had forensic social workers, you had all types of, I didn't know that, it was that complex. So, so that moved me into going to social work, man. And when I got to my undergrad, the research world opened up, something that and these are things, man, that like I said, my goal for education was to get a certification, man, to get my license. And that was it. I had no thoughts of a PhD. I had no thoughts of doing research, thinking I'm going to be a scientist or none of this stuff. You know what I mean? At that time, none of this played in part. And it was just, man, I get to Northeastern Illinois University, and I had a brother who was a professor there, and I just asked a question. I guess my question, he was like, after the class, he had said, man, you ever think about going to the Ronald McNair Scholars Program? And interestingly, I had already talked to them when I first got there, but when I was sitting there, when my mind was, I'm coming here for social work. So when I'm sitting there listening to this lady, it was like the what's the cartoon? I forgot what, she just blah, blah, blah. I ain't really understand what she talking about. Yeah, it's extra work. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't, money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? There was no, I ain't hear nothing about no money. So I'm like, I listened to what she was saying, but I'm like, no, I'm coming here, man, so I can get my bachelor's degree, and then I can go to UIC and get my master's. That was it. But when the brother pulled me to the side, and he really broke down what McNair was, and that he had also played a part in McNair as well too. So we had the connection. There's a brother, I had never had a brother as a faculty. He was like an adjunct faculty. He was still in school getting ready to go get his PhD, which now he's gotten his PhD. But, and I'll talk about that later on. But so when he broke it down to me, it made sense. And he said, man, because, questions you ask, man, I think, you'll be a good person, man, and you get some research experience. And so he was just breaking it down to me. And I said, okay. And he said, man, you can study stuff that you like. And what, he started asking me what my interest was. So I'm always interested in Black people, you know what I mean? And I was like, violence, and how do we stop violence in community? So he said, man, that's something that you can research. And I feel like you can add value to that if you want to pursue that. So boom, I went back. told the lady, you know, now I understand what it is. Yes, I want to be a part of that. And that opened up the door for me and Rodney as well to conduct research. I had never did any research. I ain't know nothing about data collection, IRB, all of this stuff. Yeah, I don't know none of that. I'm learning all of that as we go through the McNair Scholars Program, man. Yeah. So when I got to do that research project, and I really was interviewing brothers to talk about, and it was based off my experience. I wanted to talk to brothers who had went to college, stopped, but then decided to come back and complete their bachelor's degree. And
yes, I just wanted to ground us and ground the world. And can you and Rodney, as alumni of the McNair Scholars Program, can y'all tell the world
he was on the space shuttle? Was it the Challenger?
I believe it was the Challenger because it was in 80 something.
1986.
86. Yeah.
And this was the first time that the government was sending educators up in the space shuttle, right? And 12 seconds into orbit, of course, we know the space shuttle blew up, okay? And Ronald E. McNair's family, you know, after suffering that loss, they went to the government and they made the case that, you know, Ronald E. McNair was one of a kind. You know, he was one of our only highly intellectual scholars who was into neuroscience at that time, right? And a revered researcher, okay? Yep. And so his family proposed to the government that they start a program that can assist in the development of future scholars in McNair's name. Can you add?
Black scholars.
Can you add to that, Rob? Go ahead, continue.
No, yeah, and from that, so it was originally for Black scholars, you know what I'm saying, to introduce us to this, and really for STEM. So whether it's science, technology, you know, engineering, math, things like that. Yeah, and so I don't know how social work ended up getting into that. Rodney could probably talk about now, they trying to push it out, but for whatever reason, because we were in social work, you know, and so, but Ronald McNair was a brilliant brother. His brother is still alive, well known, still pushes the program. But now, you know, it's opened up to really, you know, first generations. You can come from different ethnic backgrounds and from across the STEM fields and things like that. But it really gives you an opportunity to engage in a research project.
In undergrad.
Yes. Yeah, very important, in undergrad. But that's one thing, it gives you the exposure to research, but also it prepares, it's looking for individuals who are interested in becoming, and getting their PhD. That's what it's really for. It's the pathway for get the research experience and then prepare you to apply for graduate schools on through a PhD program. So that's really what it's for. And it gives you a little financial assistance in completing your research in undergrad.
And they support you every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
Every step, the application process, funding. If you run into any issues, personal issues, they were very supportive. But Rob, can you speak to some of the intimate details of when we were in those think tanks? Because we had our regular classes, right?
Right.
We would have to go to our McNair class on like a Friday afternoon, and we would be in this think tank. And for every step of our project, we would be critiqued by our peers, who are like the smartest people in the institution from varied backgrounds. Can you speak to the intensity of that experience?
It was a welcoming challenge, I would say, for both of them. You know, because you know, one thing I can say about me, myself, Rodney, and Floyd, you know what I'm saying, we don't back down from no challenges, you know what I'm saying, and we can, you know, we have all the abilities that God has given us to be able to accomplish whatever it is that we want to do. So you put in any room, we're gonna shine, you know what I mean? And we're not afraid of critique, you know what I mean? So that's one thing. So being in those spaces, you definitely got your ideas challenged, but it was only to help you grow and become a better person at whatever it is that you was doing. So whether it come from your conceptualization of the idea of what you're trying to do to how you're going to implement it, how you're going to collect data, we discussed those things, you know what I'm saying? And everybody had added value to each other's projects. So it just helped you to have a better project and it helped you to implement your research in the most best way feasible. You know,
Yes.
so came out with good products, man. It was also, it helped us to learn the, not only how to apply for graduate schools, but also to be able to teach that to other individuals. Because we were the remember to put together a panel where we talked to other undergrads about that application, how to apply for a graduate school, man. And needless to say, some of the things that we were utilizing then, some other universities are still utilizing in their programs.
Yes.
You know, so it's a beautiful thing. It's each one teach one. You know what I mean? So we was going through those programs, man, challenging each other, but only, you know, for the betterment, man. And whatever opportunities that came through, me and Rodney was on top of it, making sure we was applying for everything.
Ain't no question about it.
Because McNair opens you up. When you have that McNair, this one thing, anybody listening who wants to know, when you to be a McNair scholar is a highly privileged and respected title. And it comes with opportunities and perks as well, because we didn't have to pay for any graduation application. The application fees, that's now like $50, $45,
$100 in some cases.
Yeah, we can apply for as many schools as we want to, and because we were McNair scholars, they waived that. We got paid to do the GRE. You know, we got free training in that, preparation training for that.
Yes.
Us to be able to take that. So they gave us what, almost $3,000 just to do our research project. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was, so it's a lot of benefits. That's just a few of them. But to answer your question, Floyd, that's kind of some of the background on Ronald E. McNair.
So let me ask you this. As a result of being a McNair scholar, right? Do you recall how many schools recruited you? This is a two-tiered question.
Okay.
How many schools recruited you? Because I know we were always looking at our emails and talking about that, right? And do you recall going to the McNair ball, the annual ball where they flew us out and we met the scholars from all over the country, right?
Yes.
Was that Ohio State or something?
That was Ohio State.
Okay, can you speak a little bit to that? How many schools tried to recruit you as a result of you being a McNair scholar, and what was the experience like at Ohio State at the McNair Scholars Ball?
Yeah, it was, I would say it was Ohio, USC,
Loyola?
Well, yeah, Loyola. It was, man, I can't remember. It's about 7, 8 schools, you know what I'm saying, that we was dealing with. Some other ones that I ain't gonna name because they was too low tier anyway. I wasn't going. But
y'all in the man world.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going, man.
Yes.
That's what
You know,
we
because you got,
talking
I mean,
about,
everybody gonna be coming, you know what I'm saying, for you, but you gotta know your worth. You know,
Yes.
You know, because if you don't know your worth, then you know you're gonna end up selling short, you know, going somewhere that really is not going to be beneficial to what you're trying to do in terms of your career wise and moving you down your career trajectory. You know what I'm saying? And giving you the support and resources that you're going to need to do that.
So you're talking in terms of academic and intellectual worth.
And financial worth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So knowing all of that, but me and Rodney flew down to Ohio State, went down there, met with, you know, this was a whole, I forgot how many, man, it had to be, I don't know, 400 people or something at that thing. And, you know, we got to meet with a lot of the faculty because we were interested in going to a graduate school in social work, you know, so me, Rodney, and I think it was another brother and a sister with us. We met with the faculty there and everything like that. So they were all, you know, they were all impressed, you know what I'm saying, with us and everything. But, you know, I hate to say, I applied and I didn't get in, but it had nothing to do with my academics. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with my academics.
Can you speak to that? Can you speak to that?
Yeah. So it had nothing to do with my academics. It was more so, you know, how could you be, it was more so because of my background, you know what I'm saying? So I have a felony in my background and everything like that. And then the crazy part about it was that for me, you know, going through that process, having to check the box, but then having to supply them with like what happened, what changed, what, you know, have to relive all of that stuff that you've overcame and gotten out of the way. You know, here it is, you know, you asking me to explain all these other things. I'm at your school because once the fact that I'm at your school and I'm in McNair Scholars Program should let you know what has changed. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I'm at your school, I'm in McNair Scholars Program, I've got my associate's degree, I'm getting ready to complete my bachelor's degree, all straight A's. What are you know what I'm saying? And then to be in the School of Social Work, we talk about, you know, our principles, you know what I'm saying? Dignity and all of these different things like that, and service and all the stuff that I'm doing. And needless to say, I didn't get in. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that. Yeah.
And you know, and I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you have a background like that, sometimes, you know, when that question pops up, you're like, man, but you know, you know, I'm not gonna lie or anything. I'm always gonna be honest with my background. But I just feel like in higher education, you know, unless it's something that, you know, like you've messed with kids or you've done rape somebody or, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But certain things, if we gotten this far, man, it means that I belong here. You know what I mean? And so whatever has happened in the past, I've shown you through my efforts, you know what I'm saying, and my accomplishments in the field that I'm trying to do, that, you know what I'm saying, I've overcome those things. You know, so what happens to second chances, you know what I'm saying? And believing in redemption, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I didn't understand that, man, but.
So let me just say this. In one of our early episodes, Floyd and I touched on that.
Okay.
We had the exact same experience at the University of Chicago. You know, that was a very emotional time for us, and we got to shed light on that in this platform, right?
Okay.
But I just want to say to you, brother, guess what? They're lost.
Man, here we are.
They're lost.
We still standing, you know, still moving forward, you know, so.
That's beautiful, man.
But I want to say to y'all, man, I think I'm so excited, man, and proud, you know, of you all for the work that y'all doing, man, and having a platform like this, because it's important to put individuals like us and others, man, to talk about, you know what I'm saying, you know, our own experience, because, you know, too many times you know, sometimes I feel like they think that Black people, we only, you know, entertainers or basketball players or whatever. Those are only individuals that can speak, you know what I'm saying, to the things that comes, you know, when we talk about, you know, the Black experience.
Yes.
You know, I think that this is a good platform, man, to show the diverse experiences of Black people who have come from whatever trying times, and some of us not trying times, but look at what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, in our lives. So,
so I'm going to flip it back to little Flizzle, young Flizzle. Go ahead, Flizzle.
Thank you, man. I mean, this such good, rich, detailed, you know, powerful, you know, narrative. And that's what's sticking with me, right? It's like, we must continue to resist and fight for narrative change, right? We own the rights to our narrative change. So our stories are uniquely ours, and we can't let institutions, other people, you know, by the way that they insert policies and infrastructure of how they, you know, determine who's deserving of attending our institution.
Systemic barriers. Systemic barriers. Yeah.
The fact that exactly, and all within that, it's the fact that everybody has a past, everybody has a story. We're championing ours in the same way that other people throughout history have championed theirs. Right. You know, so hey, whether it's Biggie kicking the door, whether it's you know, check a box, you know, but we're willing to, you know, put ourselves out there, and it takes a lot of courage and determination, because it's not just about us, man. There are predecessors before us, and then there's our legacy after us, that we don't want them to have to go through these things that do seem demeaning, you know, and our adversarial, you know, and our challenges, but we got to have the strength and wherewithal to push forward, man. So that's what's up. You illuminate all of those things, man. So I'm a pivot just into, man, a little music, man. You know, that's something we really talk about a lot. So, Rob, I know you from the West Side, and you know, man, I wanted to tell you a Da Vinci story, bro. But we could do that some other time. Okay. That's what the house music, man, down the street. You know, but man, who you been listening to lately, man? What kind of music you been listening to, man? You know, speaking to yourself.
Man, it's funny because Nipsey is a couple of songs that. What's crazy, my wife introduced me to Nipsey Hussle. I wasn't listening to, you know, to him, you know what I'm saying? But we was riding to Chicago, and she had the song going. I'm like, man, who was that? That's a and this before he did the deaf and all those different things like that. So I like that song. So I just went and got the album. But then when I'm listening, I'm like, man, he got some jams on here. You know, he really talking. You know, he really talking that you know, that what they would call thug intellectual revolutionary type stuff.
Yeah.
So that appealed with me. So you know, I'm listening to him. Who else? The brother David Banner. Did y'all the guy?
The God Box, baby.
Oh,
one of my faves.
Oh, man.
It's a couple of years old now, but it's still
But
one
hey,
of my favorites.
it's still
relevant, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you know, with rap, them two, and then sci-fi the Prince.
Sci-Hi.
Sci-Hi.
Hey man.
I don't know. Yeah.
Man. People sleep on that brother, man. But that brother, him and Nipsey kind of tit for tat with me. You know what I'm saying? They did the same.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But him, so a lot of these new guys, you know, I ain't, you know, of course I bumped my Tupac, man, and you know, Too Short, Scarface, Ice Cream. That's what, you know. So in my iPod, you know, ain't a bunch of these. Only new person I would say that's probably in mine. I can't think of the young, but he locked up now. What's the brother from Florida?
In Florida?
Yeah, he locked up now. Man.
Yeah, OG.
No,
He's a young guy, he said.
But yeah, he's been locked up for a while. He went on the Breakfast Club with the face mask on.
Black youngster?
No.
Are you talking about Black youngster?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, but you know, I can't. It'll come to me, but him. But then you know, we like, you know, my step in music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Chi-Town.
You know what I'm saying? The step in music. You know, and then just some of the old, you know, some of the older school music. You know what I'm saying?
Like what? Like what, for instance?
Man, Nita Baker.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, Luther.
Yeah.
The Whispers, you know, the Whispers. Who else? The Isley Brothers, you know, some Al Green. I've been listening to a lot of Kim. Y'all.
Okay.
Kim, man. That brother, man, that brother got some hits, man.
He's out of Detroit, man.
I don't know where. Oh, he's from Detroit?
He's out of Detroit, and he was homeless for a while.
Hell of a story, man.
Yes, hell of a story, bro. He tells his story in concert.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that, but he got some hits.
Yeah. Hey, no wonder you have such a healthy marriage.
Hey, the playlist.
Hey, my wife got more. She grew up. Her father's a musician. She grew up. They had their own music store. So she know way more about music than I could ever know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so she keeps me in tune with a lot of stuff that I ain't, you know, when we growing up, you know, I might have heard my aunties that play, but I wouldn't know, you know, I got some buddies that really know, you know, all the old school, they tell you what album was on, but some of the stuff I just have to hear, but I don't know who it was that sung it, but I'm like, yeah, I remember hearing that, but she know all of that stuff. So she been introducing me to a lot of stuff too, so yeah.
Love, man, that's love. So, you know, you said a lot of artists.
Kodak Black. That's the brother.
Kodak Black, oh yeah.
That's the brother.
Okay.
That's the brother.
You like Kodak, huh? Okay.
Yeah, he got some cool little, man. He got some, man. He got about 3 or 4 cuts, man, that I really, he got one with Malcolm X, a song he got playing with excerpts of Malcolm X, man. He spit, man. I'm like, you know, so he, you know, so he one of the brothers, man, that I you know, the newer rappers, you know what I'm saying, that I listen to.
Love that.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kodak. I like him too, man. So, you know, man, I wanted to kind of like go back to the world of, you know, you being an academic and then you're a professional, you know, as well. Just like, what are some lessons learned or some things that you feel really like that you would like to share in this moment about being a Black professional? Some of the challenges, some of the things, because why I say that is because, like, I'm a Black professional, man. Rodney's a Black professional. And now it's we're gonna talk a little bit about COVID too. But just in the workplace, you know, we talk about microaggressions and things like that a lot. You know, we talk about, you know, strives towards equity. You know, diversity, inclusion, and equity. You know, like in the workplace. You know, you want to talk a little bit about that, man?
Yeah. Yeah, I think for, you know, particularly for, you know, Black people in general, but particularly for Black men, I would say that one of the biggest things is overcoming, you know, for some of us, well, for a lot of us, that with the imposter syndrome, you know what I'm saying? Feeling like, you know, do I really belong here? You know what I mean? Questioning yourself, having some doubt. Because as confident as we are, you know, with ourselves, it's still that's in us. And a lot of this I attribute just to, you know, to post-traumatic slave syndrome, you know what I mean? And what has happened to us over generations being here in America, you know what I mean? And, you know, people try to act like, you know, racism is alive and well. It's always been alive and well in America, you know what I mean? And it has impacted us, you know what I'm saying, for generations, you know what I'm saying? We have not repaired the damage to that. So as confident that we are, you know what I'm saying, and what we can do and in our abilities, is still that's, you know, the inner little space doubt, you know what I'm saying, like that you have to overcome and, you know, and remind yourself, you know what I'm saying, and convince yourself that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I can do anything, you know what I'm saying, I'm just as good as anybody else that's in, I belong here, you know what I mean? And so for me, that's one thing, but then also having a support system around you that can also help to insulate you, you know what I'm saying, from a lot of those microaggressions, things that can come your way. So, and I say that because in my experience, and this is all God's doing, I have, since I left Northeastern, in my master's program, I had a brother who was my advisor, my mentor at for the time that I was there. And then he introduced me to my mentor, who's been with me since I've been down in St. Louis since 2014, a brother, you know what I'm saying, real brothers, you know what I'm saying, who has come from some of the same challenging backgrounds and stories that we've come from, overcame that, but then is thriving in what it is that I'm trying to, that I'm entering into, you know what I'm saying? So once I've finished up with my PhD, then I'm going to be a professor at, you know, one of the, at an institution of higher learning, you know what I mean? And these are brothers who have walked my path, you know, went through some of the same hurdles, but are flourishing at where it is that I'm trying to go. And so me having them as my mentor has really been a protective factor for me, you know what I'm saying? Because they was able to insulate me from a lot of things, because I've only been working with them, you know what I mean? So for some brothers and sisters who may be going to these, you know, primarily, you know, predominantly white institutions and things like that, who don't have, you know, who may be mentored by someone who's not of their same ethnicity, you know what I'm saying? And may not be able to, you know, relate or have those conversations that I can have with other Black men who are advising me, because, you know, I can talk, keep it real and everything, you know what I mean? So that's been a benefit for me, because I haven't had to have gone through some of the experiences that I know a lot of my other brothers and sisters have had to go through being there. And so I've been able to have those conversations. They have been in positions to be able to make sure that whatever it is I'm trying to do, they're able to negotiate that and make sure that it happens for me. You know what I'm saying? And giving me the support, making sure that I'm staying true to what it is that I'm trying to do, being ethical in everything that I'm doing, not cutting no corners, not anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But just having them there, man, has been a benefit. It's been real beneficial for me. So I haven't had to engage with that. And if I did have to engage with it, I just bring it back to them. We talk about it and they tell me how we can rectify that problem. You know what I mean? So that's even better than not having nobody, or having to go to somebody who looked like the same person who perpetrated what it is that you're mad about. You know what I mean? And so, so it's been a blessing over the last 6-7 years, man, for me to have that experience, man. And it's done a lot for my own professional growth, man, because it's nothing like having a person that look like you, but also somebody that believes in your worth. You know what I mean? And it's going to put you in position and put you in put you in positions and put you in certain situations that are going to allow you to be able to grow and become a better you. You know, and not just let you settle for some lackadaisical work. No, we expect excellence. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's what we're about. So they are setting the example, but then also pulling me along with them so that I can, you know what I'm saying, reach my full potential. You know what I'm saying? It is that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be able to do that for some other brothers and sisters behind me. You know, so that's been a very beneficial thing for me, man, over these past 6 years in terms of my own professional development, man, and my own growth and knowledge and understanding and my skill sets and how I could transfer those to the next generation coming behind me.
Man, that's live and direct, man. And I just want to commend you first for just being able to really illuminate that, man. Like, because what we're talking about is the influence of coaching, mentorship, peer support, you know, networking, right, that goes throughout the life course. So we all, I know, Rodney, with the work you've done, you know, with the youth organization, with the work I do, Opportunity Youth and gun violence prevention, you know, Robert, with the work you do, you know, and what we realize is that the opportunities to swim further upstream, right, to make those life course like elementary ed, right, through college, you know, or even earlier, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the early we can get them touch points to provide really quality coaching, mentorship, and provide these supports at every step along the way. It's only going to benefit you in the end. And I think we are 3 stellar examples of that. And
yes, sir.
advocate for, you know, getting them early, man. We got to get our youngins early and continue, you know, to show them that love throughout the course, because it truly is a lifelong work, you know, that's being produced in all of us.
Fliz, when do we get to call him Dr. Motley? When?
December, baby.
Dr. Motley. That's what we want, man.
You want to know, brother.
Come on, man.
You want to know. The world want to know.
December is over with, man. So
December of what year?
This year.
What is this year, bro? What
2020.
Oh, there it is.
2020. Yeah, 2020,
Yes,
baby.
sir.
Yes.
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 That's what we talking about, bro. Yes,
man, it's been a beautiful experience, man, and to see it now. Yeah, I just got I had got the email, so everything is confirmed. We set to go, everything like that, so I just sent my final redraft of my whole, you know, dissertation to my committees for them to, you know, make any tweaks that they feel they might want me to address, you know what I'm saying, at my defense. But we ready to go. I got my slides, everything is set to go. Now I'm in the, and I don't know if y'all want to get it, but now I'm in the interview stages, you know what I'm saying, for where I'm going to be at next. So yeah, man, but December 20, this year, it's over. Dr. Robert, it'll be over with.
Man, congrats. Hey, we giving you your flowers. Now we going to give, we'll continue to give to you. So I want to know, the world wants to know, okay, what does the future hold for Robert Motley? What is what's cracking? What's really good, brother?
I know they recruiting you. Come on, bro.
Hey, this, you know what, man? Me and my wife was just talking the other day. The way I explain, the way I could describe this is like in sports. You know what I'm saying? When you you know, when it's the draft. You know, so you know, you have your first round, and the second round, and the third round. You know, and but the more money you can get depends on if you can go first round, but especially if you can be in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's shooting.
What
you know,
what's your projections, bro?
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I know I'm top 5 in the first round. 5.
Dead or alive.
You know what I'm saying?
Top 5.
Top 5.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I would be modest to say top 10, but I'm top 5. And for doctoral students coming out in a PhD program this year, I am one of the top 5 on the market. So and I say that with all due respect and humbleness and everything, you know what I'm saying? But I know what I have done over these past 6 years in terms of my doctoral experience and what the normal doctoral experience is like for a lot of PhD students. You know, it's unheralded, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just say that because I have to sometimes, you know, you can't forget the work, man, that you put in, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
You know, and this is not, but you also cannot value yourself as well, too.
Yes.
And so that's just me knowing, you know, what it is that I'm doing, and from, you know, with my colleagues and with my advisor, you know what I'm saying, knowing what my worth is. So being that, and being that we're going through COVID, I know y'all want to touch on that a little later, but COVID does impact how many schools have funds to be able to pay. So my next goal, to answer the question, is that I will be a professor at an institution of higher education starting in, so right now you do your interviews, everybody scrambling now, trying to grab the best candidates and do the screening, the interviews, have you come on campus, do the campus visit or the virtual visit, and then give you an offer, you know what I'm saying, and then hopefully get you out of the market, because other institutions are going to be calling as well too. So they're trying to get on it, whoever's the quickest, you know, but you have to be strategic in that, because you don't want to accept an offer and then another top school come, but you've already accepted an offer from another school. So it's some strategizing in that process, but it's a small pool this year because of the COVID-19. For me, all of them, you know what I'm saying, is at my beckoning call. You know what I'm saying? All of the schools, you know what I'm saying? But again, like I said earlier, I can't sell myself short, you know what I'm saying, to go to. So what I did was I had my my top 5 choices, you know what I'm saying? I had a few other lower tier schools that I applied for as well, you know what I'm saying? And so now I'm going through the process of, you know, some of them I didn't talk to, then did the fly-in. I got to go. I got another talk this Friday with the university. Right after that, I got another talk with another university. And the day after that, we fly out to another university for 3 days to do an on-campus. I got 2 other, my advisor just talked to me today. My top choice, he just said, because I had a good conversation with the dean from that school, but this was a couple of weeks ago, but I hadn't heard anything back. And I'm like, man, we had a great conversation. You know what I'm saying? And she really, you know, feel like what I'm doing is amazing. But one of the guys there had already reached out to him and told him that, you know, yeah, he wanted to get a better understanding of where they see me at, and that they have already got the funds to offer me something. So hopefully I'll be getting an offer from them in the next week or 2. You know what I'm saying? So as these offers come in, then you have to sit down and say, okay, well, what would be the best institution for the work that I'm trying to do that can give me the resources that I need to be able to push my research agenda to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Be able to not only have an income, you know what I'm saying, but also, you know, have my wife coming with me, you know, as well too, to be able to have her have a position as well too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Institution.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of negotiations that goes into these processes, but the more the higher up draft pick you is, like LeBron can demand a whole lot of things that other players can't demand, then when you got that power, then it works in your favor, you know, in terms of what institutions are willing to do for you. So it's looking promising, man, but I ain't gonna get the names of any institutions yet, but
No, that's cool. We cool with that.
yeah,
We don't want to put no monkey wrenches in the program.
Yeah. But y'all, as soon as it's done, I'm gonna let y'all know. Y'all can blast it. You know,
Absolutely.
We'll reroute on you. We'll reroute on you. Yeah.
But I'll know between this month and between the end of this month going to December, the decision should have been made by that time.
So this is what we know. We know that you're in the green room. We know that you're not gonna be there long. We know they are on the clock.
Yes.
You don't know, man. That's beautiful. So just to remind the world, I don't know if we explicitly actually said, what is your research area? What is your research grounded in? Can you let the world know?
Yeah. So my research really looks at the intersection between racism, violence, and trauma among Black emerging adults ages 18 to 29. So, you know, and how it impacts their mental and behavioral health outcomes. And so broadly, that's kind of what my research is examining. And so what I'm really interested in is looking at the exposure to these things, how it impacts this population, so that I can identify what are some of the risk and protective factors that can be utilized in some of these prevention and intervention programs for this population. So that's the broader sense of my research area. But for my dissertation, what I'm doing is I was looking at what is the prevalence of exposure to perceived racism-based police violence among Black emerging adults, how that leads to them experiencing racism-based traumatic stress symptoms, and how that may lead to them engaging in substance use or alcohol use. So whether it's smoking weed, drinking, how does exposure, not only if you was a victim or if you was a witness, but also seeing these videos. So, because a lot of folks, you know, all Black people may not never had a negative interaction with police officers, but they see all these videos of people who look like them being victimized. Yes. And so that puts them on alert to say, well, man, if it's happening to them, it could happen to me. That brings about some certain level of anxiety, you know what I'm saying? Some certain level of hypervigilance, you know what I mean, that they may be experiencing. So what I'm trying to do is capture their exposure to these events, how is it impacting them, and what other maladaptive behavioral outcomes do they engage in as a result of this experience? And so that's what my dissertation work looks at. And a good thing I was able to get a grant from the NIH to be able to implement this research, which is like the gold star of getting grants from. So that's everything is to get a grant from NIH, and I was able to get a F-31 grant through them as a doctoral student, and a grant through another institution, the Fosbeck Institution in New York. They gave me money as well. I got money from several different grant mechanisms, but NIH is the most important one to do the work. So I finished everything, it's done. Now I got to present. So in your dissertation, it's really, you do two years of coursework. After that, you start to come up with what's the research project that you want to have for your dissertation. Then there's what some people call a qualifying exam. You have to do that. We call it's an area statement that we do at our institution. I think we are one of 2 institutions that do this, but it's all institutions do this. So versus you taking an exam, you have to write like a 120-page paper on your whole area that you are interested in doing research. So if you're interested in, let's say, a violence prevention, you have to do 120 pages about the whole area of research that has been done on violence prevention programs. So do you know what that does to you, your understanding of your area, to do that? And to have all of that in a document that you can
but let's be clear, just be clear for the world, because I know, but we're talking before you start your personal project.
Yes, before you start your personal project. So
this is like your lit review. This is like a literature review.
But it's the literature review of your whole area of research.
Yes.
It's not only just on police violence, it's on community-based violence.
Yes.
Theories. What theories have been done? What are the prevention intervention programs that have been done? From emotional processing, informational processing, cognitive behavioral therapy. You have to write about all of this stuff. What all the research that has been done on the whole area around policing, community-based violence, trauma, racism. I got in like a 150-page document that I had. So that gives me an understanding of what the work's been done on racism, what's been done on community-based violence, what's been done on trauma for Black emerging adults. What are the theoretical frameworks that have been used to explain this phenomenon? You know what I mean? What is the outcomes that have been associated with it? What are some of the protective factors, the risk factors that have been found in research? So so when you walk out of there, somebody asks you a question about your area, you'll be able to say, oh yeah, so-and-so, Williams and colleagues did this here, Fitzgerald and so-and-so did this here. Oh, the theory of that, so versus you doing a regular just exam where they have you answer questions about social rate, ain't got nothing to do with your area of research. Our thing is you do this whole area statement. Once you write it, it's approved by your committee. Then you have to do a 2-day exam where you sit in the room for 7 hours on each day, and they give you a set of questions based off of your area that you have to answer. It's just you and a computer and your Word document up. They give you the questions, and you got 8 hours to answer these 3 questions this day, and then it may be 4 questions the next day. Some of them, they may ask you to write a syllabus. If you had to write a course on your area of research, what would be the course? You have to write a whole syllabus. If you had to write, and what's interesting, that was one of my questions. And now, next semester, because remember, I'm finishing in December, right? I graduate in May, but they came to me, I've just developed a course called The Trauma of Policing Among Marginalized Populations that I'll be teaching independently next semester. They just sent it out.
Let's do that a hand. We need a hand for that one, baby.
Everything.
Hey man, listen, man. World, we just want y'all to know, we are from Chicago, all 3 of us born and raised in Chicago. We have ill Chicagoans all over the world. There's more to Chicago than what is propagandized in the news and the media, okay? And this is an example of, how we're gonna push through the gates and we're gonna show the world. Well, we've already been showing the world, but we want to continue to show the world that you can't play us like we're not thorough, all right?
That's right.
My man off the west side of Chicago, continue.
That's right. So I'm excited, man, to where this is going. So once you've done that, man, and then so your dissertation is really just a slice. So you built this big pizza of your area statement. Take this slice and say, you know what? I could focus on civilian violence. I could focus on, school resource officers, on violence in children. I could focus on, campus police, but I want to focus on police violence in the community and its exposure, the types of exposure. So I wanted to dissect the impact by type of exposure. So whether you was a victim, how does being a victim of police use of force impacts you versus if you witnessed it happening to somebody else, how does that impact you? Then versus if you just saw videos in the media, how does that impact you? And no research has been done on this prior to me. So, and this is just not this is working with my advisor, thinking deeply about my area and where's the gaps at? What hasn't been done?
I think we need to get out of hand. Gotta get out of hand. You got us clapping a lot, man. Celebration. Hey, man.
I love it. I love it. Love it. So proud of you. We all talk. We're both big proponents of. We understand, adverse childhood experiences and how they travel and manifest through the life course. Like we understand this, and like the work you're doing is going to even illuminate that and so much more. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm so excited, man, and looking forward, bro, to the next steps, man. Way we celebrate you on your journey. You rocking out, bro. So I did want to take a moment to kind of talk about, we living in a COVID-19, a pandemic. We're in a pandemic era, we don't know. People are speculating when it may end, peak periods, intense periods, and all kind of things. But one thing we do know is that it has affected Black and brown communities differently than it has other communities. We also know that COVID is a killer. And we also know that although it may be reported when a vaccination is coming, we really don't know. And then we don't know who will get what. There's a lot of distrust going out there. So Robert, I just want to take a moment, man, to ask, what's your take on COVID and the state of affairs? And then how has COVID affected you and your family? Like, how y'all been making it through?
Yeah, no, man, this is something that, none of us have ever lived or experienced anything like this. You know what I mean? We just read in books about certain pandemics hitting and all that stuff, but to really, at first when it happened, I wasn't taking this. I'm like, first I'm just thinking it's something that, be contained in this one country, but we're going to continue to move on. But then it started really getting real, and I've had not a few, but one or two family members that actually came down with COVID. They got over it and, and doing well now. But then this was early on, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking like in April, May. You know what I'm saying? When it was really just starting to really get going in America, but I mean, it's true. Like what you said, man. I mean, when you are, for Black people, like a lot of people say, when America catches the cold, Black people, we catch the flu, you know what I'm saying? So any ailments that this country faces is going to always hit us the hardest, because we are the only group of individuals who we are living in concentrated poverty. So what, it's a lot of white folks, you know what I'm saying, who are poor, who are on SNAPs and benefits, but it's only less than, it's either 10% or 5% of white folks live in concentrated poverty. With us, 30-40%. So it's like you in concentrated poverty, your neighbor poor, this neighbor poor, everybody poor. You know what I mean? Versus a white person can be poor, but everybody around them got money and look like them. You know what I'm saying? So they have access, you know what I'm saying, to other opportunities to get them out of the conditions that they're in. Versus us, we're in a concentrated level where everybody's like us. So how, there is no body that you can reach to pull you up when everybody's at the same level. So it's definitely going to hit us and impact us more. But then also when you talk about the vaccination, you got to also think about, Black people's pause, and our untrust of the health profession in America because of what has been done to us in terms of experimentally, dealing with certain vaccinations and stuff like that. So how accepting is Black people going to be at taking the vaccination. Some of us don't even take the flu vaccination. We anti-vaccination because we don't know if this is population control, what they're trying to do. So it's a lot of people who are unease about that. So you have to overcome that. You know what I'm saying, when it happens, because you got a lot of these companies out here vying because they're going to make billions of dollars. Whoever they're going to make billions and billions of dollars. So a lot of this is about money as well too, man. But then also, what's the value of life and Black life in America has never been much. You know what I mean? And so they willing to, to let us be the guinea pigs, you know what I'm saying, for it. And I've heard some statements about Black people being the first ones to get it because we are the most at risk. You know what I'm saying? So they use that and say, well, let's get them. So there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to have to overcome, making it out of this thing, but it is real. People are being impacted. It's impacting the way that, we can engage with our family members, because usually on Christmas, we come home, my family, we have all type of big gatherings, but now all of that's been canceled. My aunties, a lot of people scared to death, man, of even socializing with people because they just, they don't, for good reasons, you know what I'm saying? But then a lot of people, because our, families are so tight, it's hard not to, because we don't really get to see each other as much because, now I'm here and all that stuff. But, so they made some decisions, to say, we just got to take this 1 year off, you know what I'm saying? So I'll just be, me and my wife with our immediate family, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna have the big gatherings that we usually have, you know what I'm saying, over the holidays and stuff like that. So that's been really the impact on my family. We ain't been able to really get together and socialize. Everybody kind of been just standing in their own little isolation with their just own, mother, father, and children. That's it. You know what I'm saying? No cousins, aunties, uncles, friends, and none of that stuff. So, and I believe that's for everybody, you know what I'm saying, in this country who abides by the rules. Some people's probably still acting like COVID ain't even here and they should still doing the normal things. But for us, we've definitely been taking the safety precautions, man, that's been, talked about and needed. So
that's what's up, man. I'm so glad to hear that, man. You just shared some information that one of our topics, I believe it was in last week's episode, was about health deserts and just different, and just to illuminate that concentrated, poverty amongst poor whites versus poor Blacks, like that definitely does resonate deeply with that. Man, so listen, I think that I want to ask you, man, just in a few, short sentences, or, have you given much thought as to what you want your legacy to be?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, I can't say a whole, because we I know for me, I ain't the type of person to be thinking about when I'm dead and what I want to say. I'm thinking about what I want to happen in the next 5 years, you know what I'm saying, in terms of my career. But really, man, I just want to be my legacy to be, that the work that I have done, you know what I'm saying, I've always been a genuine person. I've always worked hard. You know what I'm saying? I always strive to live up to my full potential. You know what I'm saying? I was never afraid to fail. You know what I'm saying? Because that, to me, a setback is just a setback for a comeback. You know what I mean? So, and I've done that many a times in my life, and my friends and family can attest to that. So I've never been afraid to try things new. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a person who never thought that I could do whatever it is that I put my mind to doing. You know what I'm saying? So even if I don't accomplish everything that I've tried to do, I guess my biggest thing was that I wasn't afraid to try, and I always believed that I could accomplish anything as long as I put my mind to and do it. And that's what I did. Some things didn't work out, some things did work out. You know what I'm saying? But I never wanted to settle and say, that this all I'm going to do is just do this for the rest of my life. I'm always looking for things to be able to challenge me and grow. You know what I mean? So if anything, that would be my legacy, and people will be able to look back on all of the things that I either did or didn't do or tried to do and say, yeah, because he tried, yep. You know what I mean? So, he did that and got good at that, but then switched to this and went, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that would be my thing, man, is always believe in your self-worth, man, and know that you can be as great as you want to be, man. So that would be the biggest thing.
Woo, thank you so much, man. Let's give it up for him one more time, man.
Thank y'all, man.
That's amazing, man. The kid, Rod Allen, I'm going to turn it over to you, man, if you want to,
So Robert, I would like for you to tell the world, when we were in undergrad and both of us were McNair scholars, and we would apply for these grants. We would always apply for these grant opportunities. And many times we were successful, but there were a few times when it became just a little bit challenging because we would have like an administrator, right? That wasn't our color and didn't understand the levels of perseverance that we had already engaged in, and our visions, our individual and collective visions for ourselves, right? I remember the specific incident when we were in this office and we were going to apply, you know, for this grant and everything, man. And you know, they gave us every reason. This particular person gave us every reason we couldn't get.
I remember.
Speak to that.
I remember that vividly. You know what I mean? I mean, it just and there's research on here, man, that says, you know, when even in classrooms, man, you know, people, more Black children excel in classes that are taught by people who look like them, because for some reason, you know, if the child just knows that you believe in them, that they can do, then they're gonna do whatever it is that they can do to be the best that they can be. You know what I'm saying? But when a teacher or tells them, or they can feel like the teacher does not really value them,
Energy,
worth, you know what I'm saying? Energy, or not even just the energy, they might tell you, know what, Malcolm X teacher told him something different. You know, few of our brightest minds, you know, have went through what a teacher have told them, you know, why you trying to be that? You know, people like you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, go cut some grass or something. Go get your license or something. You know what I'm saying? What you trying to, you know, be intellectual or intellectual for? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so you know, so in that instance, that is what I felt we was experiencing in that instance, was a person really not truly believing in our capability to get what it was that we was trying to get. But the fact that, you know, we ain't spring chickens. I mean, we're a little bit older, so I believe maybe if we was, you know, 18 or 19 or something like that, it may have been. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It could be because, you know, you're younger, you still, so you might believe that, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't apply for this. You know, you're a little bit more impressionable. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at us, at the level we was at, she couldn't tell that to us. You know? even if other people who came before us had tried and failed, we still gonna try and then let them tell us.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So
we ain't gonna never know.
As soon as she expressed her doubt as a result of our majors, as a result of many different reasons, and presented to us the clear understanding that she had no idea, ambition, right? What was the discussion that we had as soon as we walked out of the office? I mean, we wasn't out of the door and we started to talk to another. Do you remember the discussion?
I don't remember. I know we said, man, we ain't listening to what she's saying. We talking about. You know what I'm saying? That we gonna apply. And what we did was we went, remember we went to the Southside campus to go. We had to find out because remember we didn't even know that they had a preparation meeting or something, how to prepare. Yes. We found out about that, went out south, went there. We was doing, and then you had even met with, I forgot the brother name out there to get more information about how to apply and all that stuff. You shared that information with me and we applied and we got it. Both of us.
Yes.
Both of us got it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just an example, man, of don't let nobody stop you from being the great you that you are, that God made you to be.
That's what's up.
That's the key. And there is no such thing as what you can't do until you hear the word no. Till they say no.
I recall Jay-Z saying, I was watching an interview with Jay-Z and he expressed strongly how often people will try to transfer their failures to you. Transfer their failures to you. They'll tell you what you can't do because they're attempted to do something and they failed at it and then they never tried it again, right? Yeah. The only limitations that we have are the ones that we put on ourselves, brother. I appreciate that.
That's right. What it is, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, so we pushed on through that, man, and I don't know what they talking about it now. I don't think we had. had another conversation with that person.
Nah, we never went back. I mean, why? Why would we go back?
Yeah.
Hey man, let's say what it is. That person sounds like an old fake gatekeeper. old bogus gatekeeper, Joe. You know?
Yeah, man. It was something else, man. But you know, that's just one. That's one example, man. You know, of what many of us go through, man. You know, coming up through, you know, education and all of those different things. Like
So let me give you a little bit of irony, though. Here's irony. I don't know if you thought about that. This person is now my colleague.
Right. Man. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yep. Man. Oh, and the crazy part about it, well, I was telling y'all about the brother who introduced me to the McNair Scholars Program, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I got into my first year in the doctoral program, when I went to the first conference that they have, I see him there.
Oh, wow.
I see him there, but he sees that I had seen him since that class, but the one introduced me to McNair, got me to do research and thinking about a PhD. Now I'm here, and this brother here was a year from getting ready to finish up his PhD program. Now he's—
Was this when we were in Ohio?
No, this was
okay.
He was at Northeastern. He was a professor in a research class at Northeastern.
But you said you were doing a McNair conference.
No, I was when I started my first year at the PhD program in St. Louis, where I'm at now.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I think we was in maybe Washington D.C. or something for a conference that they have every year, and I run into him, and then so happened, you know, I'm like, man, we talking. I'm letting him know about it, but he was like in his last year of PhD program at the university that he's at, which now he's completed. Now he's a professor over at Loyola University in Chicago.
Okay.
So that was stuff. Man, that was like, man,
come full
you know
circle.
Come full circle, man.
Yeah.
You know. So that's you know, so that's how I was saying that with you coming forward, like even though it's a different situation, but it's still here I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Despite what you was trying to do, you know, now we we're peers.
Yes.
You know.
So we got this crowd favorite, man, that we like to kind of end our show on, man. And it's called Bring Some Weed, I Got a Story to Tell. And I don't even smoke, right?
Right.
If you have a story that you'd like for the world to know, it could be about anything, you know, we'll allow you this opportunity to tell your story, you know, whether it's funny, whether it's a watershed moment or what have you. You know, we like to afford you this opportunity.
I thought
you're on the hot seat, brother. You're on the hot seat.
That seat can get thirsty sometimes too, man.
Yeah, no, I'll say, well, one funny story is that when we was in undergrad, and this was when we was I was applying for McNair. I hadn't even gotten to McNair yet. I think I had just submitted my application or whatever, you know, and you know, I used to go to the cafeteria every day, you know, to get lunch down in the cafeteria. So when there was a guy there, we used to joke around all the time, signifying on each other. And then there was this woman in front I had never seen down there before, you know, turn around and kind of, you know, smile, you know, like, oh man, you know, but then she's like, oh, he's trying to, you know, play with you and all this stuff, you know, like, man, leave, you know, telling him to leave me alone and all this stuff. So we had like a brief little, you know, what's your name? What you know, oh, she works in you know, but I'm not listening to the, where she said that she works at. I'm just looking at her. I'm like, man, I ain't never seen, you know, I've been a year. I ain't never seen you in there. And so after that, I get my food and I turn, she gone. And so then dude was like, man, you said she was looking at you, man. You know, I was like, man, what she go? He said, man, I ain't never seen her either. So in my mind, I don't know what she said she was, what her department was or whatever, but I went through our buildings, whatever name I thought it was, I was asking people, man, do y'all know about this this professional thing to support students? I just knew about it, support students who may be Black or whatever, but I end up going to this office, and I go into the office and I'm trying to describe her to, I forgot the name. you know, so the lady at the desk was like, well, here go, we got 5 cards. These are the people who work in our office. And I'm like, no, that ain't it. No, that ain't it. So I turn around and leave to go out the door. Boom, her picture right there.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
it's Dr. You know, Dr. so-and-so, that name, you know what I'm saying, then with everybody else who was staff there. So in my mind, I'm like, oh man, she's a doctor. You know, so I'm like, I can't, you know, so now so I leave, go down. So now I go outside, man, I'm smoking a cigarette outside. Like, I got the number, I'm on a call, but I'm like, man, what I'm gonna say? You know, so I just called and she answered the phone. I was like, hey, you know, I know you remember me, you know, my name Robert. I mentioned the thing. She's like, yeah. And I said, well, you know, I just want to know, you know, if you had time, you know, for, you know, to go out to coffee, you know, to drink some coffee. Because she's like, well, is this for business or this personal? I said, well, personal, you know. And then so she's like, well, hold on, let me check my schedule. I found out she was just putting me on hold because she was flustered herself that I called, you know. Like, you know, like, let me check my schedule, you know. And yeah, so then so we met and we've been inseparable since that day, man. And you know, it's my wife, you know, I'm talking about.
Yes. Hey man, hey, I don't know. That might be the best story ever, man.
But the crazy part, yeah, we been together ever since then. When I came down here, now she's the director over a McNair Scholars Program. So that's
See what I'm saying?
That's the crazy part. And I was applying to be a McNair Scholar at that time, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But that was so yeah, that's my story.
But yeah, I was there for that, man. I didn't know all of those intimate details, but I remember just the crux of it, right?
Right.
I was like, I never saw him like this before, man. What's going on? Who is this lady? And he wouldn't say much. One thing, he wouldn't say too much because, you know, it could have been viewed as a conflict of interest because
I'm a student.
She was in the administration and we were students, right? But, you know, as time went on, man, you know, we grew up her, man. And then later, I found out that we grew up just walking distance from one another. She grew up in Hyde Park and everything, man. Yeah, so we love
small world.
It's a beautiful story, bro.
I think that's a beautiful story. I just want to let the world know, hey, world, if you out here, you see someone in line, it never takes time. These things have a way of developing.
And don't be afraid to go after what you want.
That's it.
Yes.
All I gotta say is no. So
that's it.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yes. Social media existed then, but you did it the traditional way, brother.
That's all. I'm a traditional dude, man.
Yeah.
Man, that story was, man, that was crazy though, man. I left that door and boom, we go to the picture right like that's what's her name? You know what I'm saying? So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey man, we just want to say, man, it's been such a pleasure, man, to be able to celebrate.
I love it, man.
You know, it's been a blessing for me personally to be a part of your journey every step of the way. And your wife pretty much demanded it. Yes. She was like, y'all better support one another. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hey man, although you're still a PhD candidate, in my mind, you're already Dr. Motley. You know what I mean? You're already Dr. Motley, man. And we look forward to you doing great things, man. Fliz, you have anything you want to leave with?
Man, the same thing, man. Congratulations, Robert. You have life, you know, just by knowing there was another brother on the west side, you know, doing their thing, you know. Me and Rodney, we continue to talk about you. We keep each other lifted up, man. And absolutely right. Today I choose to speak things into existence, not as if they are. Dr. Motley, everyone.
Dr. Motley, baby.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Love y'all too, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, you know, we ride or die, man. You know what I'm saying? And we've been through it and we continue to go through it, man. And we keep each other lifted up in spirit, man. And like I say, we might not talk for a month or 2 or 3 or whatever, but once we talk, it's like we ain't never stopped talking, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
So that's the main thing. We gonna always support each other and whatever it is that we do it and however we can support each other. we gonna be there for, and that's what it is. So for anybody listening, you know what I'm saying, when you make a connection, man, with people, it might not be people that you grew up with or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I still got my friends and all that stuff too, but it's okay to have other individuals, man, as long as you all they got your best interest and you got their best interest at heart, man, and y'all keep it real with one another. And that's what it's all about, man. You know, wanting to see each other grow, and that's what we do, man. You know, so I appreciate it. You know, whatever y'all need me, man, I can do it. I'm there, man. I'm there.
We love you, man. And on that note, this concludes our episode for today. I am the Kid Rod Allen, for Young Flizzle, and Dr. Motley.
Hey.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.